Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned in to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, featuring the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer, right here on PARockShow.com, MegaRockRadio.net, 107.1 FM, St. Louis, Missouri, AltRockRadio.ca, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, RoodarooRadio.com on the beaches of San Diego, California, XRPRadio.co.uk in Birmingham, United Kingdom, and right here in the thriving metropolis of Leechburg, Pennsylvania, BuildTheScene.com. My name is Bill. This is episode number 603. And with me tonight are three of the gentlemen from Scattered Hamlet. And I was trying to figure out what you were holding up there.
My very own leather lion.
He actually killed that in Nashville behind the Blue Note. It was, I believe. I don't know if that's even a club there, but
there's not.
Blue Note.
They didn't know that.
We have a brown note.
That's what I meant. He killed that there with his buck knife.
So for some reason, Facebook did not connect. So we're only on YouTube right now.
Zuckerberg,
again.
He heard us talking about him.
Yeah,
it's not the first time we've been zucked.
No, we get zucked all the time. No metaverse for Scattered Hamlet.
Yeah, it just has this big pink error and tells me that it can't connect to Facebook right now. Never seen that. So anyway, we are on firstangelmedia.com and buildthescene.com's YouTube, and live on both of those websites as well. And we'll just go with it.
Pictures of the Build-A-Scene. You got two Wormans that are playing instruments, then you got this fellow over here with the microphone looking at it.
Yeah, so the
good observation.
That's Jackie Dwyer with the guitar.
Got it.
From Amber Alexis.
Got it.
And Natasha, whose last name I can't remember right now, but she is in Animus. She's the lead singer. And then with the microphone on the other side is Walter Wright, who was the lead singer of Scale, but he recently passed away.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And I actually took all three of those photos. So.
Awesome. Well, you're taking good pictures, because that's the first thing I noticed. I wasn't even looking at myself, and I'm a dashing man.
Yeah, you'll see. I might change them,
right
like so, but all the pictures you see on them are pictures I took. Like that's
like one of me going like this. That'd be a solid.
But anyway, so Scattered Hamlet. I am going to start off with a cliched question, just because. Yep. Where did the name come from?
Came from a Time Life Civil War book that was called. It was a chapter called "Scattered Hamlets," and it was described poor, dispersed mountain towns. So it was kind of when I formed this band in LA. That's where I figured that's where we were from, and it was not a very good move in hindsight, because it should be a lot more obvious, because people were like, it sounds like Shakespeare. Like, we should have just called ourselves I don't know, like Bush Light and Whoop Ass or something, and it would have been probably
I don't know.
We should trademark that.
What I get mostly from the name is people think that it's a item on a Waffle House menu.
Yeah, you get that. I'll be like, hey, bro, is that like from Waffle House? I'll be like, yeah, I've never heard that before.
You're covered, brother.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned it, kind of sounds like something that might be on a Denny's menu.
Yeah, well, Waffle House is superior to Denny's.
It is superior.
There aren't very many.
Oh, I might have to fight you all on that. I used to cook at Denny's, man. I got some.
Yeah, but
the Denny's out in LA serve beer though, so that's
that is true. That is true. But Norm's does too. Did in LA.
We're not talking about Norm's.
Well, I'm just bringing other things to the mix. But Waffle House wins.
Yeah, I think Waffle House probably wins.
I don't know where the closest Waffle House is to me.
I'm going to be a conscientious objector.
Listen, I bought this purple anniversary Marshall head for $150. Marshall cabinet for $150 from a meth head in a Waffle House parking lot.
Not fair enough.
I have 3 Waffle Houses in my town, so I know.
You do.
I'm very experienced in this.
Muletown's got a lot of Waffle Houses.
Ooh, Muletown.
That's why I don't have one, because you stole them all.
Yeah, you're pretty far north. That's what it is up by you. Y'all are up there pretty far.
Where are you at that you have 3 Waffle Houses?
I'm like an hour south of Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah,
in
Columbia,
Muletown.
Tennessee is Muletown, baby.
It's the mule capital of the world.
It truly is.
It is. They actually have a mule festival there.
Yeah, we have a Mule Day parade every year. It's pretty sweet.
I'm trying. The only Waffle House that I can think of that I've been in is at State College, Penn State University.
Yeah, if you get down into Washington County, there's some by the casino there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like, there is one out by State College. I go up in the mountains up there by State College. I've been hunting and stuff. I go to a hunting camp up there sometimes. So.
Up in Center County.
Yeah, up that way. Like there's
He really just hunts, and then he says he's going hunting, but he just goes and eats hash browns at Waffle House.
There used
Well,
to
I
be
mean-
more Waffle Houses.
I am the worst at that. This is what I do when I'm hunting. The best thing to do to me is to just leave me be with my chew and give me a 4-wheeler, and I'll track all the deer, get them, and I process them. But like, if I have to get up in the morning, it ain't for me. Sorry, Pete is going to be banning your show there, brother. They're going to be yelling at you like they yelled at me at Warped Tour and stuff. Like PETA kids, they get all angry. They paint their faces in blood.
Wait, PETA yelled at you at Warped Tour?
Yes, they did before. That
You got to give me more than what you just did.
Well, the PETA kids, they're pretty passionate folks, and they take their stuff really seriously. And we have deer skulls on stage, and they came with their blood face. This before you fellas were here, and they came. This was in LA, of course. No, it was actually in Northern California. Of course, it was. So, and they come to the side of the stage, and they're like, "Hey." They're like, are those deer skulls real? And and me, listen, man, I'm a hillbilly. Like, I didn't even realize the loadedness of this question. I just turned around. I was like, yeah, we got that one in Mount Morse, PA, and this one we got down there around Morgantown. I processed and ate that one at this time, and their heads were gonna explode. Like, it was like they were just like, oh my god, and that was. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They weren't our fans anymore.
The last time we played Warped Tour, Jode stood on stage with a buck knife and offered to cut off the skinny jeans from all the kids walking around.
Yeah, that happened.
And how did that go?
One took us up on it.
Thing took us up. Yeah, Kevin Lyman from Warped Tour is awesome, and he thought it'd be funny. I saw Kevin after we played Warped Tour on the final Warped Tour, and we were in LA, and I just was like, and I walked over to him at a bar, and he saw me like in a cowboy. He goes, I remember you guys because I thought it'd be funny putting you guys on Warped Tour, and I was like, yeah, see,
Surprisingly, we didn't go over well.
yeah,
Warped Tour crowd.
to our audience. Like, I mean, he put us on in like Tennessee and in Texas and stuff, but we didn't exactly win the hearts of, like Attila's fan base and so.
Yeah, it's a shame because Joe really likes Blink 182, and I feel like it was they just didn't get it. They missed it.
It's just that it didn't happen. So. And last time I was there, I had a kid like walk up. He points to like my Misfits tattoos. He goes, "I like the Misfits," and I'm like, "Cool, bro." And I'm like, I was like, "I'm a big Danzig fan." He looked at me with his eyes glossed over. And he goes, "I don't get it." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You freaking poser, man." Good time.
All right. So this is like when I say this is a new question, keep in mind I'm on like year 18 of this show. So new is like the last couple years. But this one's really new. It's actually like this year new. What is the best pizza you've had because you were in a band?
I'm
Casey's
a big,
breakfast pizza.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Casey's breakfast pizza. I'm gonna go with Grant on that. Like when we're in the Midwest, like I generally wake up before everybody. I always wake up. I walk to Casey's. I get my energy drink. I eat their breakfast pizza, and then I put a chew in. It's delicious.
Yeah, I don't even think this is up for debate. I think that's just the correct answer.
It's just I mean, if you're gonna talk like real pizza, you got to go to like New York City, or like Jersey outside the city or something. But like Casey's breakfast pizza, they got their own thing going on, man.
I was on tour in Chicago and I ate at this place called Pequod's, I think.
Yeah.
And it was some sort of like deep dish thing. It was really good, but we ate like 45 minutes before we were supposed to play. We all ate just huge deep dish pizza. We went to the club and we clogged the men's and the women's toilet. They had to call in like an emergency plumber during
You know what though? Chicago, like having relatives and stuff like up in New York and stuff, like the Chicago people talking crap with their pizza and stuff. I'm sorry, guys. Like you can give us cheap trick, but you don't really make pizza as good as
Nah,
It's a
casserole.
Yeah,
and
it's
Lord
pizza
too.
casserole.
I mean, their Lord is
It's a
good.
casserole.
Their Malort is not good.
Lord is good.
Lord.
Yeah,
No.
Lord.
No.
Literally, it's like brewed with dirty, like ashtray butts.
Yeah, it's like licking a bum's butthole, man. That's Lord.
I don't know Joe's frame of reference on that, but we'll leave it.
I'm just saying, you know.
All right.
Better be careful. Next question.
I know. That's why I paused. I was
That took
like,
a
how
turn.
did we get to that?
Yeah, we can go in all kinds of directions.
This is our MO. This is how this all goes from now.
Okay. Let's say you're sitting on a bench and your musical idol comes and sits down beside you and they say, you can ask me only one question. Who's going to be sitting there and what are you going to ask them?
I think we should answer for each other.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Because I was like, I already blurted my answer out pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Because here's what Jode would say. He would say, Fergie, how do you sing so good? Can you teach me to sing good too?
It wouldn't even be in the top 10, dude. It would be Springsteen for me.
So here's what
No,
Grant
it'd be
would say.
Fergie.
Grant would say, Ringo, Daddy.
Yeah, Grant did
That's
say
fair.
Ringo's mustache.
I don't think I look like Ringo at all, but
Oh man, yeah, you're deluded. But go ahead.
Sean's been kind of guarded. I don't know who Sean's musical idol is. You know, like I mean, I'm a big Springsteen fan, except when he starts talking too much liberal, and then I can't understand what he's saying. Because
Is it so hard to figure out George Michael? I mean, is it really that hard?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that would be a great example, Sean. I could trade the bus.
I don't know what question you would be asking George Michael. But
I-
you're George.
questions because that went all kinds of wrong. Whenever you know.
I think the question is, can we go to the movies together? I think that's the question.
That'd be pretty solid. That's a good one. Man, I'll tell you what, the Faith album that's cool.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh, and the jacket too.
And the boots.
I've been trying to buy the jacket for a long time. Like our old manager bought the boots, and he doesn't look good. But the
It
jacket,
takes a special kind of man to pull off those boots.
it does. The jacket though, like I've found the replicas. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I did pull the trigger on the fur coat. So
Fair enough.
I'm all with that right now. Yeah. But Springsteen, and the question I would ask the boss is, when are you taking us on tour as direct support?
Oh God, yes.
That's the question, yeah. And you're only going to play songs off Darkness of the Edge of Town. I'm going to pick your set list every night. That's what it's going to be. I'm going to write them. That's it.
It doesn't sound like a question.
Yeah, that's the man. I'm just telling him you're going to get the fucking on elbow, Mr. Springsteen. When I got to go meet with my friends that played in the E Street Band, I was not allowed to knock on Springsteen's hotel room door, even though I asked which room he was staying in. They were like, "Oh no, we're not telling you," because they know I'll be up on that elevator in a minute. Be like, "Hey, excuse me, Bruce." We're gonna
He'd probably appreciate that. Some random hillbilly knocking on his door.
Yeah,
Hey, let me write your set list.
yeah, I'm like, have shit canned at 2 a.m. He would love that. That's exactly what he's looking for. Good times.
All right. So speaking of set lists, let's go with you're out on tour and you're bouncing between city and city, and you're on the bus or the van or however you guys happen to move.
Beastie Boys always on vacation. See, I did.
Yeah.
So
So my question is, what are you going to listen to while you're traveling?
Oh man,
This is three
What
very
about
different answers are going to pop up right now.
there's a lot of fans right here.
Riff-raff figures heavily into this calculation.
Yeah,
So Jode only listens to Fergie and George Michael, and I'm not exaggerating.
I
Lately,
listen
he's
to
on Bon Jovi too.
Bon Jovi's awesome. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Bon Jovi. Yeah, my playlist. There's not going to be too much in there made past after 1989. It's good, pretty much taps out. Maybe if I get into an old school hip hop phase, then yeah. Grant listens for being a millennial. Is trying to eating Tide Pods, try to take my guns and stuff. he has a remarkable knowledge of old school hip hop from the golden era. So he has a lot of pretty cool stuff. So
It's all the Tide Pods. They get my brain flowing.
It is, man. He's not like Q-Tip and like all these things. I'm like, how do you know that, man? You didn't even live through that stuff. And I know his dad wasn't listening to it. So
there was a fair amount of Manowar that filtered.
Oh yeah, we listened to a lot of Manowar last tour,
and I can't hate on Manowar.
That's the false metal, man. We're not going to be part of that.
It's great.
I was converted. I was converted last tour. Yeah. I wasn't a fan. I'm a fan now.
Now he's Jewish.
If you like metal, you're my friend.
Other bands play Manowar kills.
Yeah, Manowar. And then if you really want to cross in, when we go from Manowar, then we'll go into Van Canto. But I'm not know if you're familiar with them. Van Canto is an all a cappella group from, I believe, Germany, and they all sing different things, and they only have a live drummer, and they cover bands like Manowar, and they cover like Metallica.
You know what? I think I have seen a video of that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, they went viral a while back. It's pretty sweet.
My college roommate has this very eclectic like of music.
Yeah.
So I will get YouTube videos from him occasionally. He's like, check this out. I'm going, what am I watching?
yeah, that's like Rich. He's not in here, but he's the one who could find like things. We listened to that song because Grant was concerned because his daughter was listening to it. That I wonder what's inside your butthole song. That came up. I was a little odd. Like, we weren't really sure what to think about that. He's like, my daughter's been listening to this a lot. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that either. But, it was one of those weird things,
Well, all right. Okay, hold on. just hearing the title without a context of what's happening, that sounds really terrible. But it's a kid singing it like a little child made the song up. It's very funny and whimsical.
And somehow Grant thinks that makes it sound better.
Well, I'm sitting here looking at the people popping up in my chat room, and I'm pretty sure that 2 of my 8th graders from last year are currently watching the video.
Oh, yeah. I used to be I student taught 8th graders, but I didn't last very long teaching. I wonder why. But yeah, so they would know the viral video. I wonder what's
probably.
Yeah, it's a kid's video. It's not like it sounds terrible. Like, I mean, when we hear like with our dirty adult minds, it's really not like that. It's actually pretty innocent. But still, I don't know. It conjures up. It's like listening to Turbo Lover. It makes me uncomfortable now. Things, man. I don't know.
Yeah, so, you do think things.
Yeah. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. You can't hear him, but you can feel him. It's man.
Just so your show ends. You've loaded your stuff. You're walking down the street. There's a DeLorean sitting there with its door open and a flux capacitor in it.
88 miles an hour, son.
That's right. Where are you going in history, and what band are you going to hang out with?
I would like to point out that this actually happened. Joe, do you remember we were leaving NAMM and there was a DeLorean in the hotel parking lot? And we were walking back to the Uber and there was just a DeLorean sitting there.
Yeah, you're right.
Random DeLoreans?
Just a DeLorean sitting there.
There was also a Ghostbusters car, too.
Yeah, in the hearse. Yeah.
That thing is sweet.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, back to the question at hand. I'm thinking ooh, that's a big one. I'm gonna go nerd on you guys. I'm gonna go to Detroit in the early 70s and see the MC5 and Iggy and the Stooges.
Oh man.
Kicking out the G-Motor.
Yeah, or this just because of the sheer absurdity of it for me. I want to go see Lou Reed in the Velvet Underground hanging out at Andy Warhol's place. Look at me being there. Like, I just feel like a random hillbilly. That'd be hilarious. So
you just want to scam on weird random drugs. I can see where that's going.
Those are my picks. Go ahead. I'll give it.
I'm definitely going to Pasadena, California, 1976.
I already know where you're going. I know where you're going.
And I want to go see Van Halen play backyard parties with like just cool half-naked California chicks. That's my jam. I just want to listen to them cover KC and the Sunshine Gang. That's cool. I'm down with that.
Freaking David Lee Roth, man. He is
right?
He's the quintessential front man of all.
Oh, absolutely.
He just wins.
Yeah. I'm going to see.
Wait, Grant, before you answer, just so you know, you're not the only person in this chat that wasn't alive when that happened.
Oh,
Hey, you don't know how old I am, dude.
Oh, I do know you're younger than me, and I wasn't alive.
Yeah, I wasn't alive. I was eating Tide Pods in a womb. I would go see Thin Lizzy right after Jailbreak came out.
Okay.
I forgot the name, whatever tour they were on then, but that's where I'd go.
All right. What is the okay? This is a good question, Grant, because this is good for us. We should know this. Who are the two guitar players at that time on that tour? Because they were
At that time.
Yeah.
Was it
that's way before like Sykes or Gary Moore. Like
that's before Gary Moore.
Yeah.
It was the two like long haired.
Yeah,
they look like twins.
Yeah, I can't. This is a shame. I can't even remember the stuff on high. But yeah, that's who it is. But yeah, those were Thin Lizzy's had such great technology. Yeah, you pull that up, Sean.
Yeah,
that's a big question because Grant is right. That is essentially one of the great rock bands of all time. There, and that doesn't quite get their accolades.
It's the most underrated rock band of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
I have to wonder though, were they like in Ireland? Were they underrated? I have to think they were huge in Ireland.
I don't know. It's a good question. We'd have to ask like Jay or Jake that, like they would know better than us, about that. But that's.
I mean, they were huge in Europe, but like over here, just no one.
It just did. I read a couple things. There was a couple reasons for that, like something to do with like their PR. They had to cancel a tour and like things like that. And the way it went back then, that was like.
It's the same with the Kinks too, because like I read the story that like Ray Davies got in a fight with some big promoter in the United States, and then they just wouldn't bring him over here, and so the Kinks never got like their real shot in the U.S. And now they have this like awesome band that most people don't listen to.
Yeah, it sounds like I would get in a fight with a promoter.
Yeah, exactly.
So speaking of getting your real chance, you're standing at the crossroads waiting for the devil to arrive. What are you selling? What are you selling your soul to him for?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna get all hoodoo on you. It's actually, if you do it like straight, the actual cross.
I know it's metaphoric, but
it's metaphorical because it's actual Papa Legba and it's a voodoo thing. And Papa Legba is the deity that comes between the afterworld and here.
Legba.
And you can make bargains. It's not actually selling your soul, but it has gotten twisted into that. Sorry, I'm a big not a practitioner or anything. I'm obviously a white hillbilly from Southwest PA, but I do like that. But yes, but I do appreciate your question. So, what would we in Papa Leg's terms? You'd be trading something. So, if in the devil one, you'd be trading your soul, but you could also be trading something. Is what you're asking? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. What are you trying to gain from it?
What am I trying to gain from it? Well, being that I'm already a perfect human being, there really wouldn't be a lot that I would be looking to trade for. But he might want to trade with me because I am the Appalachian Apostle, and I have my own prayer candle actually, which you can purchase online.
I would trade Sean's legs for $30.
Is it a good deal?
It might be.
Can you sell them for that much? Have you seen them? They're not great.
I can get 30 out of them, dude.
Yeah, all right.
You guys were jamming the faces last time. Like a hot legs, and it's got me going on a. I'm feeling the
Rod Stewart.
Yeah, Rod Stewart.
I think Rod Stewart's playing Nashville soon.
Really?
Yeah,
dude. All right, so
that show.
Truth be told, I just went the other day and I saw. A Stones tribute band opening up was a Rod Stewart tribute band.
That sounds
this
awesome.
Dude, I don't know what he had done. I think it was all like plastic surgery, whatever. But he had the greatest fake Rod Stewart face I've ever seen. And then he turned around and shook his 70-year-old ass in some leather pants. And I was converted. I was immediately like, I'm sold. This is the best thing I've ever seen in Nashville.
Could you imagine going to the plastic surgeon who's like, I need you to sculpt my face like Rod Stewart?
I'm telling you, it was like they stuck chicken bones in his jaw just to like beef it up, just make it look massive. It was awesome.
We didn't answer your question.
I can't remember. Wait, I'm going to let you, but there was a Rod Stewart video, and I can't remember what the song was, but it was him in the back of a pickup truck with this little kid with like orange hair.
Oh, that's
Young Turks.
It's not Stay With Me. It's yeah, where they're all jamming in the back of the pickup truck. Hot Legs.
That little kid looked like
That's
my brother.
Hot Legs, yeah.
My brother has that color hair.
The first time I was ever in New York, I was riding the subway with my parents, and this blind guy was walking up and down the subway singing Do You Think I'm Sexy? And he was killing it. Like, he was getting all into it, but he's totally blind, and he's like fumbling around. And then someone asks what stop this is, or someone asks, like, is this like 8th Street or something? And he stops and turns and looks at him and goes, no, this is 6th Street. You gotta wait 2 stops. And then like goes back to being blind and just keeps singing the song. Like, what just happened? You just ruined your shtick, dude.
Here's a good story about Scattered Hamlet. The last time we were in New York, we went to Sirius Radio to do an interview. And when I was in the lobby, I got to see Ivan Drago. He was standing next to me, and that made me very happy. For your students out there, they might not be aware, but Rocky beating Ivan Drago was actually what settled the Cold War. And that's how America beat communism, because Rocky beat Ivan Drago.
They probably haven't updated your textbooks yet.
I have to break you because that's important.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, listen, he killed Apollo Creed, who was the greatest American boxer of all time. So what needed to happen? It wasn't Jake Paul. I'm sorry, guys. You know, it's not that guy that walks around with Pokemon around his neck like a jabroni. It was actually Apollo Creed was the greatest boxer of all time. And then Rocky had to go train in Siberia, which happens. And then he came out and he beat Ivan Drago. And then
who was like 3 feet taller than him.
Yeah. I'm about 6'1", and he was taller than me. I mean, but like when you're a kid watching that, like he looked like a mountain. You know, like, you know, with me and cowboy boots standing next to him, I was like, okay, Ivan Drago doesn't look that big. But it was still awesome because he was Ivan Drago, and I was just very excited to see him. So I just wanted to share that with you.
As you will.
See, that brings up the who's the most famous celebrity you ever met question.
Oh, we could beat that. It's not Ivan.
Oh, yeah.
Here, I'll start. I met Gene Simmons.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Never heard of him, but sounds famous.
Lynn Swan, Rod Woodson. I met a lot.
He was a great wide receiver. He's not the best. Jerry Rice was the best, but sorry.
I'm gonna let you get away with that just because you're the dad.
I could go 0 to Al Bundy in like 2 seconds here if you start getting me.
Dude, I went to the same grade school as Al Bundy.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
literally.
pretty awesome.
Indeed. I'm very proud of that fact.
You know, here's the thing. Like, for the most famous person, I lived in Los Angeles, so you know, when we started this band, you know, I was like right there in Hollywood. I mean, you know, I would sit at the Rainbow and talk to Lemmy. I saw, you know, I talked to Steven Tyler. You know, became friends with like Tom Morello, like Scotty, and used to share rehearsal space with me. So, you know, like being there, it kind of broke a little bit of that glass between like, you know, like super celebrity and like, you know, like Joe Rogan was in our jiu-jitsu class, you know. So, you know, it kind of broke a little bit of that like window, you know, for me. But, you know, so I've been fortunate to like meet a lot of people. Lita Ford hates us, you know, who's a bit, you know, we opened for Kid Rock. We didn't see him, but like Dee Snider, you know, talked to us. Yeah, there's been a couple.
Oh, Dee Snider, you're just like setting these questions up for me.
Yeah,
we play a Scattered Hamlet song backwards. What do we hear?
We hear Adam Jonas. Awesome.
We actually did this. Did you do this
feel
in
like
a video?
that's probably in a
yeah, it's a video.
Yeah, you made a TikTok video. Yeah. If you play any of our songs backwards, actually, you might have to adjust the speed. They all say "Don't be a jabroni" as you spin them backwards. You just gotta find the right speed.
And you wouldn't believe how hard it is to write so many different lyrics that backwards say jabroni.
Yeah, you can only do this on vinyls, which you can buy online at Scattered Hamlet.
Yeah, could you? But
you can buy them at Amazon now too.
And Amazon now.
Yeah, you can do that now. Yeah, the craziest thing, like you know, talking about like the celebrity thing, we were it was 2 times ago. We were playing at Sturgis, and it was us, Dee Snider, and then Disturbed, and you know, like walking back off the stage when I was done, like, you know, we have different trailers. Like we have the smallest trailer. and D has a bigger trailer, and then like Disturbed has a bigger trailer. That's how it works. But I was like walking back to go to our trailer, which I'm very happy we had a trailer. Because the first time we played there, we just like sat in the parking lot and like cooked cans like we were hobos, like by the train tracks, which we were perfectly happy doing. But then we got like a trailer, we're like, holy shit! Like we're like
we also wrecked a $30,000 motorcycle the first day we were there.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, but it was like we're raking off bills, like we're raking off $1 bills, like we're a boss. But yeah, but I walk past the trailer and like this guy like walks out and it's like, oh, it's D Snyder, and he's like stretching out and like D looks. I mean, he's in shape like he's 30, like and D's been doing this forever and it was right after we had covered the song "Stay Hungry." And for one of our friends that got in an accident, I walked away. I was like, hey D, I was like, you tweeted some really nice things about us, for our cover of "Stay Hungry." I was like, thank you for that. And like he looked at me, he goes, "Oh, you're that guy, huh?" He's like, "I liked what you did with my song. That was pretty cool, man." And I was like, "Well, you're D Snyder, and that's really cool." I don't know, like, really lame like that, And we just had it. He was like, "Yeah, bro," or whatever. But it was really cool. We got to watch the show from the side, and he is a total class act, and it was really cool. It was one of those like, sometimes you eat a lot of shit or you eat a lot of crap when you're in a band. So like when little things like that happen, it's kind of like cool, it's kind of like a nod. You're like, you remember why you started doing it because you listen to people's records like that or knew about people like that. So that's pretty cool.
So I had kind of the opposite thing happen to me. I was at a Kiss concert at Star Lake and I got recognized and I was real excited. I'm like, yes. And then I realized that it was a fan of another podcast that I guested on. It wasn't because of mine.
I don't know if you can see over here. I don't know if you can get all the way over there. Over there is a Kiss shrine, and there on that.
I see Destroyer on the wall.
On the Destroyer, you'll also see there's pictures of me holding all Paul Stanley's guitars and hanging out with like Gene's bass. And our former guitar player actually went on to be Gene Simmons' bass tech, and we got to go go mess. I got the drummer's sticks there. I've got like all these signed things. Yeah, because I'm a huge Kiss fan. I've got all the figures on the wall. But yeah, Kiss is where it's at. My Space Ace Les Paul is actually upstairs the demons are getting exercised out of it.
Oh yeah, you had that guy on the doctor's bed, like sorting it out.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I have the pentameter. It's going back to the tech. I don't know what's going on. It's like I fix it and then I plug it in and it's like, and I get ready to rock and then there's no rock comes out.
Bring it down here, man. I'll put blobs of solder all over.
You could have fixed it in like 2 seconds, but like I'm out of options here, and I don't want to drive the Nashville, so I have to drive to the guitar tech and be like, that's gonna happen tomorrow. But yeah, but
right, so
Kiss.
Let's talk about your song "Lowdown."
Yeah, that's a good.
I'm gonna ask you to imagine that you're on MTV and it's your time to tell a story.
Is it TRL?
Do you know I was actually on MTV Spring Break before for shut-ins on MTV2 in the year 2001? Thank you.
Oh, I have that on VHS.
Yeah, actually, I introduced videos and stuff. I was balling that. I hope that footage never sees light. And I know someone who has it, and I hope that he doesn't.
Let me point out that if my former students are really the people that are watching right now, they've already started trying to Google it.
Oh, yeah. Please find it. Please find it and send it to us immediately.
The actual VJ at the time has it. I know he has it because every now and again when I'm talking crap on Twitter, he'll release like a little like clip of me doing something and I'm just like, wow, he has that? So I know he has all these things and he's just waiting for the right moment to like spring into action with it. We haven't quite got to that position yet. But
you know you made it when that shit becomes.
Oh yeah, because he's going to. Because I bet I'm wearing a flaming beanie like Tito Ortiz would, and I might be rapping.
Oh man,
flaming
I
beanie.
can't wait for this.
I don't know what video I'm introducing, and it might have been 2002. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, so it was yeah. It was pretty awesome at the time, but now, like in hindsight, I'm like, that was rough. That was on national television.
All right, so tell us about Lowdown.
Lowdown is what happens after, if for anybody who watched the Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, That was a Johnny Knoxville documentary about the whites of West Virginia. Hank 3 did the song for it. Hank 3's a legend. What happened was we were invited to, I essentially live in West Virginia for all practical purposes. But we were invited to play Jesco's 62nd birthday party. And Jesco is also known as the Dancing Outlaw. And we played his birthday party. And we had quite an experience at Jesco's. And we wrote a song about it. Like to hear it, here it goes. It's called Lowdown.
All right, so we're going to take a moment, listen to Lowdown by Scattered Hamlet, and we'll be right back with some more questions for the guys. For those of you that are watching live for the first time, you don't actually get to hear the song right now. You have to wait until Friday when this show gets released. And so far, I don't have to edit out any F words, so good on you for that.
Fuck that.
No! That's okay. This part gets edited out anyway.
Very obvious where that one landed.
I don't edit video, so that's on you when we get the FCC.
Fair enough. I'll take the blame.
Okay. That was Lowdown by Scattered Hamlet, who are hanging out with me tonight on episode number 603 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. Oh, yes. Tell me you guys use that.
Yeah, that's
It's in Lowdown.
Yeah, it's all over Lowdown.
First of all, we'd like to say you're welcome for graciously providing your ears with something that awesome to listen to.
This is actually the Josh Lowdown. True, and this is the harmonica that was used.
Also, kudos to Rich, master of the Juice Heart, because he
killed it. Because I did the scratch track of the heart, and then Rich came back and really laid it down with heart. So yeah, he took it to the next level.
We're not allowed to give Rich compliments when he's not here.
I know. It seems gross, doesn't it?
Now's our time to strike.
That is not the oddest instrument that I've talked about today.
Okay. What was the oddest one you talked about today?
So I was sitting in my classroom while there was a music class going on in there today, and the music teacher decided that he was going to do that thing where somebody says something and then you have to go down the line and you have to keep repeating what the other person said.
Right.
So about halfway through, I did to get his attention, and he called on me, and I said, "Hurdy-gurdy."
Hurdy-gurdy. That's some Zeppelin stuff.
So
I think a hurdy-gurdy's only.
So I guarantee you, at least 3 kids went home and Googled that.
Oh, wait! You set Jode off. Let's see what he comes back with.
Fiber slap, son.
Oh, there you go.
I played a glockenspiel in a studio. Yeah.
That was the one that the music teacher said.
Crazy.
I got to play a triangle on the new album too, and a train whistle.
That's pretty solid. Don't make me get the banjo out.
Shit! I got one too, man. We could duel. We could definitely duel.
That would be epic.
That's what the people want to see right now.
That's what people want to see.
Two people who don't know how to play banjo.
Is there any way to get people to turn off your live stream faster than to play banjos? That's the way to go. Oh shit! He's gonna do it. Do it. Do it.
It's perfectly in tune too.
Yeah, that is not in tune. It's an open D. I don't even know what I was doing with it. That's not even
Are you trying to plug it into the Marshall and
Yeah, that's probably what I was doing because I put a pickup on it. I was like, what if I plug this into my Marshall? I'll tell you what happens. It sounds god awful.
Yeah, this banjo's in drop D.
Dude, I swear to God, next time I come up to PA, I'm bringing my banjo. We're gonna have dueling out of tune banjos.
Yeah, I'm down. That'd be great.
Until people lose their minds. It'll be great.
You're welcome.
I'm already losing my mind.
Yeah, that's attitude, drop, open D, band. I tuned it like my slide guitar. Why?
Did you do an open D?
Yeah.
All right, so Metallica has played at Antarctica. Kiss has played in the ocean to sharks.
Oh, I met Lars and Robert Trujillo, but before the party. They're pretty famous.
They are just slightly famous.
He might be from one of the big fans there, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So what's a place that you want to play on Earth that people wouldn't think of as a venue?
Oh, I want to play at the Corn Palace, the Mitchell Corn Palace.
Oh, the Corn Palace.
Oh my God, the Corn Palace.
Yeah, the Mitchell Corn Palace. We stopped there on the way to Sturgis, and we went there. I was like, it is a palace of corn in a basketball arena. I was like, this is where I want to play. I remember calling our manager. I was like, I want to play at the Mitchell Corn Palace. He's like, is that even a thing? I don't care if it's not a thing.
That was
I also want to play
ZZ Top was played the old shows at the fucking Corn Palace, right? Oh, sorry, I threw the F out. Sorry. My bad.
Well, you're talking about ZZ Top and the Corn Palace at the same time. And
I want to play at the world's largest truck stop too.
Oh, that's a good one. Blackberry Smoke.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If we could tie those in and play at the world's largest truck stop and then zip on over to the Corn Palace, I think that's all I need to do in my music career.
Like done. Like after that,
Make a little mini tour.
I'm done.
What if we played? I want to play.
So what would you listen to between those two stops?
What we listen to?
It
Oh,
would just go completely around there.
we'd probably listen to the Wu-Tang Clan, and we'd follow it up. We already played the Gathering of the Juggalos, which is a pretty unlikely place, and I don't ever want to go back there again.
Yeah, that was that's not going to happen again.
No, I'll never take that show again.
So the Juggalos, since you brought them up, I used to work at Kennywood.
Oh, I know Kennywood,
which is where I met a lot of the celebrities I met, like Rod Woodson and Lynn Swan, and Yuri Herdina, if you know who he is, and no, Yuri Slager. He was.
Oh yeah.
I was anyway.
Just so you know, I was an NCAA wide receiver, so I can talk about receivers all day. Just so you know. You see that?
You see, he's throwing it out there.
Were you really?
Yeah, that was a.
Where'd you play
bona fide catch.
That's a whole nother story. Let's finish your story, and I'll talk about it.
I don't remember what my story was now, though.
You're Kennywood.
You're talking about the Juggalos.
You're talking about
so they used
to
have an unofficial day at Kennywood. Like they would plan it and they would show up.
Can they afford it?
Well, listen.
I'm gonna get shit on
both the best day and worst day ever.
Do they spray Fago everywhere? That's what I
was gonna say.
They show up and like imagine the worst things you can imagine happening in an amusement park, and that's what happens, and that's why it's the worst day. But as someone who was working at Kennywood for like 16 hours a day, it was the best because we closed at like 7:00 every time they showed up.
Yeah, the Juggalos come out at night.
Yeah, after night, that's when the meth comes out and stuff.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, hey, I'm a big, I respect the whole psychopathic record. So what ICP has built is an empire and all that kind of stuff. But like, I don't belong together.
Yeah, we didn't go over well, but I will say, like, we didn't go over well, but everyone was very nice.
They were very nice. Yeah.
It was like a surprisingly like non-hostile atmosphere when all the vibes you get going in, like this is going to be terrible. But it was actually, I mean, it was terrible, but everyone was very nice.
Yeah, about violence with Juggalos. It just doesn't seem to be a thing.
No, they don't tolerate it at all.
I mean, like maybe lack of bathing, somewhat.
Rich did say they did set up fireworks in the middle of the crowd when ICP was playing. I don't know if that is necessarily considered violent.
They threw a freaking grill, like propane tank, in the bonfire.
Like I don't know if that's violent. It's very dumb.
Yeah,
it's violent.
But to be fair, dude,
you're lucky you didn't get hit with shrapnel.
That's what my friends were playing.
We left.
That night. Like, I won't call him out there in one of the bigger headliner bands there, but he goes, yeah. When the propane tank went in the tank, he's like, I was done. He's like, that's it. I'm going home. Too old.
They don't know how magnets
work. So that
work.
was his being slapped in the ribs.
You don't know how magnets work. Yeah. Magnets, how do they work? I don't know.
No, it's crazy.
They don't know how they work either. But they're a gang. The government told me so.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I don't even remember the question that started that.
The place you would want to play that wouldn't be considered a normal venue.
Well,
Corn
if
Palace.
I could play a lot of fairs, that'd be awesome. If we could play the Mitchell Corn Palace and then we could play a fair.
You could totally have a fair at the Corn Palace. There's enough room out there.
I honestly think if there's a get that we could get, we should play Burning Man. And we should fucking play Burning Man. And we should
That's three.
Shit on
You're
fire.
cut off.
We played Burning Band and they brought back Lilith Fair and we played that because I'm still woke and
we should play Lilith Fair.
Burning Man. and then they're gonna bring back, and we're gonna play and we're gonna go on tour with Fish. It'll be
Joe, do you understand? This is like the realization of your dream to play with Melissa Etheridge. This could happen. This is
not wrong. Yeah, that could be awesome.
So this is my official build the scene question.
All right.
Okay.
Is it about Melissa Etheridge?
No, but it did make me think of the question.
Okay.
All right. So off the air, I'll explain how it came about. But the question is, who is your Dave Grohl? In other words, what musician? Give me a moment before you make the faces.
Sorry.
We have a Dave Grohl story too. We can tell you.
Yes, we all do.
Yeah, Dave Grohl handled our ridiculousness probably better than any celebrity that we've ever roasted before, and he was really good about it. So I love Dave Grohl. But good.
Well, see, that kind of fits into to why the question exists. But
okay,
I'll tell you off the air. The question is, who's your Dave Grohl? In other words, what band would you want to go up on stage with and perform one of the originals? Because the Foo Fighters are known for pulling people out of the crowd and letting them play.
Okay, I know who I want to play with Social Distortion. I want Mike Ness to call me on stage. When he reaches for my hand, I'll pass out because Mike Ness is so awesome. And then we're gonna get together, and then we're gonna sing "Bad Luck" or we're gonna sing and the story of my life, and it's going to be epic. And you guys are going to have the greatest moment that you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
Do they have to be alive?
And then someday I'm going to ask somebody where they're going to go in their DeLorean, and they're going to pinpoint that date.
Yeah, you'd want to go to that take. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be.
No, they do not have to be alive. We have a DeLorean.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Grant.
Man, I think I'd say Prince.
Ooh.
That's pretty sweet. Prince would never let us.
What song? What song?
I don't care. Any of them.
Just whatever.
Yeah, it's like I'll play any of them. Just playing in that. All his bands are so phenomenal and they're so good.
Because he's
like
Prince.
I know. Just like if you just get to like sit in that groove on stage with Prince, like it doesn't get better than that.
I would actually rather sing.
You're just going to be covered in purple. I mean, that's been your MO for a long time.
What if we went on tour with more Stay in the Time? That'd be
come on.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Holy shit. I should carry the mirror.
Not as cool as Prince, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it's What's your Sean before we hijack your conversation?
I would say Unchain the Night with Don Dokken. That's the way I would roll. Because
see, I don't know what to take serious or not. And then when I see you guys start cracking up, I'm like, okay,
feel like Don Dokken, like I feel like he really.
Is this when George Lynch had the Concha Goo haircut?
Right? Oh yeah, he had that. It wasn't a mullet. It was
like he had a raccoon on his head.
It was like a hockey fucking haircut.
Yeah.
He was
Sean,
center.
Sean, I cut you off at 3, and that's 4. You got to go.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, dude.
Somebody call him a cab.
I got way out of control.
No, it's George Lynch's sweet haircut. I did. The first time I met George Lynch, I bumped into him and we're both looking at each other and he was looking at me like, "Are you gonna say something to me?" And I'm like, "Dude, do you have the Dream Warriors guitar?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." And then we had a whole conversation about it. So that was my my George Lynch story.
Did he smell like high karate? Because I feel like he would.
Yeah. You know what? I believe he did. And it was like if he had high karate, he's like the Chuck Norris of guitar.
Oh, absolutely.
Chuck Norris of guitar.
I have my Chuck Norris poster up here.
Yeah, exactly. That's right there. Yeah, that's incredible.
Serious business.
I have one more.
Yep. Sorry.
I would like to call it an oddball question, but you guys have answers for all of them.
Yeah. Dave Grohl. We made fun of Dave Grohl. Here, I'm going to tell you our Dave Grohl story anyway.
Okay, good.
We were standing by the side of the stage at the Dime Bash many years ago, and everybody had to walk through us to get onto stage. So what we did was we just took it upon ourselves to be these hillbillies that stand at the Dime Bash to roast everyone that was going on stage. So everybody that was a celebrity would walk past us, and we'd roast them. like in our posse, we were so funny because we're clever people that our posse kept getting bigger. Like it started like Tommy Victor walked by and I'm like, oh, cool. Look, it's not John Christ. It's our third favorite guitar player from Danzig. And like, and then when he got up the stage, he's like, you know what? He goes, I just give up. I'm just going to hang out with you guys. So then he's with us and then he starts harassing people. And then pretty soon, like, there's other dudes from like Revolution Mother. It was like crazy. Like, so then we had a whole posse. Now, as the night goes on, our posse's gotten big and we have like all these people around, you know, which has given us an edge of credibility too. That's why we didn't get thrown out right away. But then then there comes this whole posse coming through, like moving like in our direction. Like it looked like a whole group, like you're going to a fight or something. In the middle of it, it's Dave Grohl, right? I mean, like we can reach out and touch him. And so here's me. I was like, took another sip, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm Dave Grohl. I have a posse with 50 people because I'm so important." And the whole posse just stops moving, and I'm just like, "Oh, this isn't good." And he stops and like he looks at me, and he's like mean mugging me, and I'm like, you know, I'm a bit bigger than Dave Grohl, but it was like, but he had a whole posse. They would have clearly thrashed me, you know. But and he looks at me, and all of a sudden, he just got that big Dave Grohl grin. You know, and he put his hand on my shoulder and he goes, I like you guys. You guys are funny. He goes, these guys rule. And he walked away and he went on stage and we're like, yeah, we're like Dave Grohl. Like, you know, it's like, that was the best Dave Grohl like moment. Like, so much respect.
I feel like I know him and I've never met him.
Yeah, right. That's what it was like. I mean, because, you know, I had never seen him in person, you know, like, and it was just like, you know, when he kind of like stopped and looked, I'm like, oh, this is going to like go bad. I was like, I don't want to be the guy that has a scrap with Dave Grohl, like, and then gets beat up by his bodyguards. But it turns out like it was really funny and it was cool. So Dave Grohl, awesome. Love you, brother.
All right. So last question. There's an apocalypse. Well, last question before we ask those last two that tell you we're at the end.
Oh.
And now everyone's getting in on the secrets of how the show works. But there's an apocalyptic event, which isn't really a reach at this point.
No, it's not.
And almost all the humans are wiped off the face of the earth. And all but one song from every band is also destroyed.
Oh, shit.
Which Scattered Hamlet song is going to survive and help repopulate the earth?
Oh.
I don't know, man. That's a rough one. What do you guys think? I'm going to step out of that question. I don't even know the answer. Everything that I think is good, like no one else likes. So, like that's like whatever I pick as the single usually isn't the right one.
So what song of ours? One song?
Which one song of yours will help repopulate the earth? You can read into that however you wish.
I'm going to throw it out there only because.
I can't believe I feel like I stumped you guys after all of that.
Yeah, we have
that's the question you can't
I've
answer.
gotten from people that have listened to the songs. You know, when you get that honest feedback from friends that actually know, like real people, they're going to tell you what they like. Swamp Rebel Machine is probably the song.
Yeah,
I think that's the one. I think that's the one.
I would say, like in terms of our slower stuff, like the mid-tempo groove, Swamp Rebel Machine. Like in terms of our up-tempo shuffles, like Shelter.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be like, you know, a pretty but yeah,
here's the thing, Joe. Here's the thing. Like you're repopulating the earth, so you have to this is get jiggy music. This isn't drink and pass out too soon music. This is get jiggy music and repopulate the earth. Like we have to have babies. So I feel like Swamp is more that speed. Just my thought.
Yeah, I feel like Sean listened to what I was putting down there.
Jiggy music at all. Like if somebody's getting into that, if that's like your move to like that, like I'm gonna put on that's really gonna get the ladies in the mood. I think you're gonna be mistaken, but you know, hey man, if it works for you, whatever.
I will tell you, it works for strippers. Every time I go to the strip club, I'm like, hey, Swamp Rebel. I don't have to pay as much. Like I don't have to shell out as much money. It works better. I'm just saying.
Didn't you guys cover Mississippi Queen like a long time ago?
Oh, there was that. Yeah.
That's the one. That's a cheating though, because it's a cover.
Nah, stay hungry because we're gonna eat all the other interloper people.
We can do Black Flag because you call people hoss a lot in that song. I feel like that's probably something we want in the new world.
Hey, Hoss. Yeah, everybody should be calling each other Hoss in the new world when you roll up on people. Like, it's up, Hoss. It's up.
Yeah, it seems fair.
Yeah. Those are good questions.
I can't believe that was the one that you guys paused.
That was hard, man. Yeah, you stumped us with that one.
Yeah, that's not really the kind of music we make.
I know, and that's the best part. Just like when this show first started, bands would actually come and play in my living room, which is where I'm sitting right now, even though you can't tell. And
I can come there and open D and play the beginning riff of Dueling Banjos if you want.
So
it'll get it real fast.
But the rule was they had to play acoustic no matter what genre they were.
All right.
So, he'd bring in a death metal band and they're playing acoustic. It shows whether or not they're actually good songwriters.
You know
because
what?
Does it translate?
I'm just going to be honest.
100% true.
The answer's no already. Sorry, I'm going to get
I don't know. I would love to hear Jerusalem acoustic.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't say they were death metal. Are they death metal?
No, they're kind of more like a classic metal.
Yeah, classic metals. I mean, classic metals. Serious song.
Jode plays ICP songs acoustically, and they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, pretty solid.
I like whenever I bust out bing, 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 bing.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, Joker's ride. Come take a spin on a carny ride. Bing, bing, bing. I'm about a second away from her. All I have to do is stand up and grab the acoustic. And it's all careful.
So the rule was acoustic, and then this band showed up one time, and their lead singer didn't tell them that it was supposed to be acoustic. And my wife still is upset with them. And that was like 2005. And after that, we did electric here all the time because it worked. And I was like, why have we been doing acoustic?
All right.
But gotta break the mold,
man.
Man.
Do a couple acoustic, like for radio things. Like, we did it on a morning show one time. You know where we don't belong? It's 6 a.m. on a morning show trying to
5.
Like on
no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. You think you should see this on the morning show, like trying to like wake up, like, hey, like.
See, but they have a dump button, so you would be okay.
Yeah, the whole thing. Like I had to like stand next to.
Sean has a dump button too.
I can show it to you guys, but
that's okay.
We'll do that after the show.
All right. So those last two questions, Where can people find your music online? Where would you point them?
Google.
Yeah, the Google isn't a magic thing, man. You just go to Google. If you write Scattered Hamlet there, like you'll get a metro, or scatteredhamlet.com is even better. But yeah, you can pretty much get everything, there. We're on all the social medias, Facebooks.
We're easy to find.
Yeah, it's not hard.
Especially if you live in Russia. There's a lot of bootlegs out there.
Download all our stuff.
Real easy to find in Russia.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Putin lets me go fishing with him and we can practice karate in his garage. But
dude, I'm worried about you riding bareback with him on a bareback. If you know what I mean. I'm just saying.
He's 100% male, man. He's not. There's gonna be no funny.
No. I know. I understand that.
He's Putin.
They're just fishing.
That's
fishing. Right.
They're fishing buddies.
We're playing karate in the garage.
So there's a comment on one of the YouTube pages right now that says "scary cat."
Fair enough.
That would be the one.
All right. I have a California raisin here.
Oh,
you have several, don't you?
Yeah,
that makes me think of James Brown.
He plays the saxophone. Actually, we come out to living in America recently.
Yeah.
That's what Apollo Creed would do, and he's the greatest boxer of all time. We've already crossed that.
All right, so
America.
What do you guys have coming up next?
Well, we got
world domination.
Yeah, we're gonna world dominate, but
you're gonna work on that song to repopulate the earth, right?
Yeah. Right. In America.
Corn Palace 2023. That's happening.
I have a ninja star in case we get attacked by ninjas. But in the meantime, we have some stuff in the works we're not allowed to talk about. So until those contracts are signed. But right now, the next show is actually in Nashville in March. that we can talk about. So we will be in Nashville at what's the name of that venue, guys?
That would be the Cobra in East Nashville, which is probably the most fantastic, amazing venue you've ever been to. They have microwave burritos.
Yeah.
And
I'm telling you, you didn't do that. You could have
good stuff.
2 bars.
Yeah, I'd have been on that right away.
They have 2 bars.
Yeah, they have 2 bars. That's cool.
That's true.
As long as they're close to the stage, like when they like put the bar in the other end, that never works out good.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so we're gonna be in Nashville in March. Of course, there's gonna be there's more touring. We got some stuff that's coming up. We'll probably have some festival appearances and stuff. We're usually the last person to find out that we'll be at the festival because we're like the redheaded stepchildren. They book like Metallica and stuff first. We get booked last, but then they'll tell us, and we'll be there because that's what we do. We bring the rock every time.
I was at a venue recently. You were talking about 2 bars. It's called Squirrel Hill Sports Bar, which is in Squirrel Hill, PA. The bar used to be next to a theater.
Right.
Well, now the theater is part of the bar. And so they have this big theater stage the bands play on, and there is a second bar in that room. So
yeah, they did.
It has some potential. They need to get some lights. Speaking as a photographer,
do you live close enough to Pittsburgh that you've got bitten by the Clark bug? The Clarks.
Oh, the Clarks.
So I do live close enough to Pittsburgh, but
here
no.
He goes with the Clarks.
No.
I'm fascinated.
Hey, Joe, there's a penny on the floor.
I don't get it, and there's a cigarette. I don't understand.
I hate that song, but I sing it every time I hear it.
He knows it. He knows the song. There you go.
I don't understand it. I moved from Pittsburgh, I grew up listening to DVD and all that stuff. I moved to LA for 10 years, and when I came back home after I formed my own successful band and we were touring, and I moved back home, I turned on DV. 2 songs in. There was the Clarks again. I was like, guess what? I never heard in LA in 10 years. The Clarks.
I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, and we were Clarks adjacent.
Yeah, it's close.
So you just knew it was there, but you were like, do I want to indulge? But then you had all the other bullshit that was going on.
It's fascinating, man. That's one of the ones that yeah.
See now Grant's sitting there not really sure what we're talking about.
Grant has.
I didn't hear. I'd never even heard of the Clarks until these bozos started talking about them when we were staying at Joe's house.
And he's worse.
I don't get it.
So you have heard them?
I have now that they made me listen to it.
He never heard of Donnie Iris?
Oh, you never
heard
of
Donnie just turned. I want to say he turned 80, or he's turning 80
easily. Yeah.
You think about it, Donnie Iris.
Love is like a rock, baby.
But before that, he was also did like the rapper, like rap. You call me the rapper. He was in which was late 60s. Yeah, he's been around a while, man.
What about Michael Stanley Band?
Don't know that one.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's the funniest one. Joe Grishecki's another big one in Pittsburgh.
Grishecki and the House Rockets.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a funny one. When Springsteen comes through in town, he has different people come on stage with him, right? Because this and depending on what town you go to, it's one of Springsteen's friends. Like Southern California, Mike Ness comes on stage. I saw Springsteen in DC. Right. What's the heck's his name? Jackson Brown came on stage, like Bonnie Raitt. It's usually these A-list people, right? Well, in Pittsburgh, the last time it was Donnie Iris. and I'm not gonna call him out, but my one buddy plays in the E Street Band, and we were out drinking afterwards. He goes, "Hey man, I got a question for you." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Who was that dude who was playing my guitar during?" I was like, "Oh, that's Joe Grishecki."
Joe Grishecki.
I was like, "It's his son," and he's like, "Who's Joe Grishecki?" And I was like, "I'm just gonna stay out of it." It was just pretty.
He's
fun.
big in 2 zip codes, and that's it.
It's just like one of those things, and I just thought
Joe was a teacher. I think he taught Jim.
Mm-hmm.
He still, I thought he still was. Unless
I think he retired.
Yeah, but I mean, again, a very talented person. I like it, but it was just funny, like when you see Springsteen bring out his people, like it's obviously
Right.
I had one interaction with Joe through email, and he was 100% awesome.
Yeah, no disrespect,
but he couldn't do what I needed from him.
yeah, that's okay. No disrespect intended. It was just funny. But
I was trying to get him to play a benefit show, but he was already booked that day.
Yeah.
But if you got you're
That's
talking
the Springsteen gig.
Money Ray,
It could have been.
like Ness, it's kind of he Eddie Vedder, like there's all like Springsteen. Listen, man, like if you threw Adam Jones in there, it's the same shit.
Do you think Springsteen knew who he was, or they just like rounded up all the celebrities they could find?
They're actually friends. They're friends. Like the boss and him are friends.
Did he teach him 8th grade history?
Joe, didn't he co-write some songs for Springsteen?
I don't believe
positive
that.
He did.
I don't believe that ever happened, but I know they worked together. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I'm good. But I do know that the boss and he did work together, and the Springsteen was a fan, and they worked together, and he believed in his music, and they, tried to put some stuff together. It just never, didn't quite take hold. But yeah, maybe I don't know.
There's I can't think of his first. Danny Goch. I can't say his last name. It's spelled Gochnnour. He's in the House Rockers, and he has been on this show.
That's cool.
But I always mess his last name up. But
good. I mean, they're I've seen them before. They're all very talented. Like I said, no disrespect intended.
Oh, I mean, regionally, no, everyone knows who they are. When they play, everything goes great. Grishecki has his whole thing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we love to play those guys.
I mean, if we want to go like bigger names, then you need to pull out names like Liz Berlin,
but Joe
Russet Root.
Joe has a special affinity for the Clarks. Like he really does love the Clarks, and it's a strange thing. We haven't figured it out yet.
But here's the thing: the cool thing about music is like obviously that touches like a whole region. Like there's somebody that like really resonates with and stuff, and that's cool. Like that's a cool thing. It does not. I am not that person, but it's all good. They might.
Another regional band who's now older, but have you heard of Punchline?
Yeah. Those guys. I actually played with these guys when I was a youngster in punk bands a long time ago.
Like in the band, or like
no.
Your bands played together.
Our bands play together, but you got to think like we were like very like rowdy, like anarcho punks and stuff. They're more of the punk kind of like thing. Yeah. And so we were kind of like redheaded stepchildren. But I've been friends with like the Anti-Flag guys for a long time. I'm good friends with them. They're good people. So it's good music.
Back when I was managing Kittyland at Kennywood.
Okay.
The original guitarist for Punchline, Paul Menotiades, worked for me, and I used to have to change his schedule so he could go play his shows.
Yep. Well, yeah. I saw they were doing some stuff like that. There's a lot of
they pop up every once in a while.
Yeah. I kind of came of age in like the punk scene in Pittsburgh, and we lived a little bit further outside of, so we're never like quite accepted. But I did end up crossing paths with a lot of those people. Some I still talk to, some I don't.
So you're saying you had to cross bridges to get to the city, which doesn't happen,
right?
Nobody crosses bridges. I made that joke about going to take photos the other day. I was like, how many bridges do I have to cross before I get to this venue?
Yeah, I remember going to like Mr. Roboto Project back in the day. Like there was Club Log on the Metropole. There's a lot of stuff in Pittsburgh, Yes, it was I don't we're kind of said we're a little further south, but yeah, I definitely remember all that stuff. I never went to any Clark shows.
I have not been to a Clark show either.
The crowd's up at the shows now, so they saw like Lars Fredriksen's coming there. I'm with an all two show. Probably
the coolest show that I went to, as far as local musicians playing with someone well known. The venues, you're gonna laugh. I went to a rib cook-off, like a rib festival.
Yeah, the rib festival. Yeah.
And I'm friends with the band Doppler Effect.
Okay, yeah.
I figured you might know their name. They opened for Charlie Daniels that night.
Oh,
that was a fun one.
Yeah, Charlie Daniels has a.
I saw Charlie Daniels at a Fainting Goat festival here in Tennessee.
Oh, you got the 31st Street pub shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh,
That's the one, baby.
You
There
remember
used-
back
what-
in the day? Like,
I
he was
used-
like a big
One of my
bike-
stickers used to be on the women's room door.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, I remember playing there, man. Like in the early days. Wow, that's
Yeah, that was my favorite place to play in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, that was the spot. You know, like that was for the.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was like a flood of like memories. You know, like in that I hadn't thought about. In a long
It was just that old school shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then, my website though was akmusicscene.com.
Okay.
Which
Oh,
coincidentally brings you to Build the Scene, but that was Build the Scene didn't exist then.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Man. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, I went in there one day. Someone else had put it up there. I walked up to use the restroom, and like eye height right on the women's door, it was my AK Music Scene sticker. I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it. But
Good.
sorry,
Man. No, I just said this summer I was at the Washington Wild Thing Stadium and I saw the Dropkick Murphys and Rancid. That was pretty cool. But anyway, that's cool.
I'm going to tell you a story about that when we go off the air.
All right.
Okay. This has been episode number 603 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. With me tonight were Sean, Grant, and Adam from Scattered Hamlet. I want to thank Joseph Barrett for pointing me in their direction from First Angel Media. And thank you guys for hanging out with me and the Lion. And
we told you we were number one, but we lied. We're number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And we will see you next week. You can check us out each and every Friday on buildthescene.com. I mentioned a whole bunch of radio stations at the beginning. They all have different times. I don't have those memorized. Go to buildthescene.com or parockshow.com, and the show times are listed there. Make sure you check out our other shows, Friendly Fire, which happens once a month on xrpradio.co.uk. And then on the 1st and 15th of each month, you can find an episode of 3 Questions and a Song, which is supposed to be me asking 3 questions and featuring a song, but it's more like me asking 20 questions and featuring a song. Any genre there, any location on earth. And we will see you on one of those episodes.